So I want to make 3 brief points. You did pretty well when I was president, and I think I'm entitled to my opinion about who'd be better. 2, I don't think it's right to say that people have to vote for Donald Trump because the economy was better there. I don't believe that. And 3, I think you owe it to the rest of the world and to your own families and to everybody in between to preserve the Constitution and keep us moving forward. Now, the authoritarian MAGA crowd has made it clear that the definition of a good administration under Trump would be to fill every single position, from the Supreme Court on down to the cabinet on down, every one, people who are unquestionably loyal. That is, when they ask you that old joke line, are you going to believe me or your lying eyes? You will always answer, you, master. They made it absolutely clear. And I think that is a recipe for disaster. Because nobody knows everything, and a broken clock is right twice a day. So we all spend our whole lives trying to get further away from the broken clock and closer to being right all the time, knowing we'll never get there. And we need other people who have different life experiences, who have different, areas of knowledge. We need that. And that's one reason I believe Kamala Harris will be a better president than Donald Trump. And don't minimize that. Don't minimize that. I was the second youngest person elected president and the third youngest to serve. Theodore Roosevelt was the youngest, and he was vice president, and President McKinley was killed. And the first week I was there, because I had all these great young people who worked in my campaign, one of whom, Gene Sperling from Michigan, is behind that curtain. And he was an essential economic advisor to me, to Barack Obama, to Joe Biden, and to Kamala Harris. Where is he? Come here. This is enter the deep state the Republicans are always crying about. I used to go running down the mall in Washington when I was young and speedier, and this young woman came up to me one day when I was running on the mall and started criticizing me because it turned out she was going out with Gene and she thought he was working too hard and not available to her. So I had to go home and I was properly chastened. I did want to bring him out because I love him and he never tries to get any credit. But I remember Hillary said to him once that, Gene, you've got all these new ideas. I've got a new one for you. Sleep. You need to try to get some sleep. There never was anybody that I ever knew who worked longer hours, worked harder, trying to help every American get and keep a decent job. And I think that's an important thing. But he was there in the room. Everybody had, so Governor Whitmer has an aide back there named Terry Krenvik who helped me get started when I left the White House. And I was morose when she left me because she was a good golfer and I could learn something from her. my point is, all these people are people, but I got them in the Oval Office. And I said to them, I said, I want the young people here to remember, one of the reasons I got elected is that I was the longest serving governor in the country. So that I might not be from a big state, I might not be super rich, but I have made a bunch of decisions. I have made a bunch of mistakes, and I've made a bunch of good ones. But what I know is, if any one of you in this audience ever come in to see me in the Oval Office and just tell me what you think I want to hear, we might as well shut the operation down and run the place with a computer. Nobody will ever be dismissed or diminished or sidelined for telling me what I don't want to hear. Now, if I listen and we work through it and I still make a decision you don't agree with, the honorable thing is not to backstab everybody you work with. The honorable thing is to resign, and if you do, I will give you a terrific recommendation. And thank you, and tell everybody that you have served democracy well. Trump has made clear that if he gets to be president, there ain't going to be no recommendations for people who disagree with him. Loyalty first, last, and always. The loyalty should extend to somebody who gives you a job, but it is rooted in your loyalty to the Constitution and laws of the United States of America. So that's one reason I'm for her.